US President Donald Trump says Iran was the world's #1 state sponsor of terror and just recently killed tens of thousands of its own citizens on the street as they protested. In an address yesterday, he was highly critical of the regime.
The United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world.
Rami Khouri is a Middle East expert with the American University of Beirut, and he joins me now from New York. Hi there, Rami. Thank you so much for your time today. I just want to pick up on some of Donald Trump's comments there. He's talking about annihilating Iran's Navy. What do you make of the US's approach?
Well, Melissa, this is something we've learned a lot about watching Trump in the years that he's been president, on and off. He talks in flamboyant terms, in cartoon-like American television culture terms, in militaristic terms. He wants to be seen as a tough guy who will use all the assets of the incredibly big and sophisticated American military machine in cahoots with the Israeli military machine, and he'll go around and beat up and destroy any group of people or country or area that is defiant to Israeli and American demand. So this is nothing new, but the fact that he attacked Iran last June and he's doing it again now while they were negotiating, and the mediators, the Omanis, announced just before the attack started that they had reached an agreement, which, if the report was accurate, I mean, he said it himself, the mediator. So it said that the Iranians basically accepted all the terms that Trump wanted, that a firm declaration that no nuclear arms would be made, and Iran doesn't want them. So I think we have to just wait and see what the U.S. does rather than react to what Trump says, because those can be two different things, and he often can change his mind. He says something, he starts to do something, and then he changes it. So let's wait and see what he does.
As you said, this comes amid conversations between the US and Iran, which, as you just said there, sort of seemed to have been coming to some sort of agreement. So what can we read into the fact that this attack has now taken place, and what has sort of triggered this response or this action from the US?
I think it should be read as a verification that the United States is under Trump now, at least, and this may not last for very long, being under Trump. He may or may not last for a long time. But this confirms that the United States is willing and able, and sometimes even anxious, to do anything that Israel wants it to do in the region. Israel has been trying to get this done for years and years. Netanyahu's been after the U.S. to attack Iran. The Iranians don't seem to pose a direct threat to the U.S. in any way. And all the confirmations that have been available, whether from the CIA or the International Atomic Energy Agency or people who've inspected Iran, say they're not working on a nuclear weapon. They have enrichment, which they're allowed to, and they were being inspected. So there's no threat that anybody really can see other than the people who write Trump's press statements. So this is really about Israel. This is what Israel wants. Israel wants to be the hegemon in the region. They've achieved a lot of their goals. They destroyed Iraq. They hurt Hezbollah badly. They've destroyed Gaza. They've hurt Hamas very badly. They've taken over parts of Syria, destroyed the whole Syrian defense system. So Iran is the last big threat as the Israelis see it, and they wanted to destroy it. So this is a job that the U.S. is doing for the Israelis. Why the U.S. would risk that is the big question. A lot of people are wondering, and we'll see if an answer comes to that sometime in the coming months or years.
Yeah, as you say, this has been described by Israel as a preemptive attack, and so certainly there's a lot of questions there around what exactly they were anticipating. I want to ask you a little bit more about sort of how this will be received in the US. The president said in his statement last night that American lives may well be lost. Are we likely to see American boots on the ground in Iran, do you think? And how is this being received by Americans?
I doubt there'll be boots on the ground. It's possible they may send in a couple of special forces to do a specific job, either assassinate somebody or kidnap somebody as they did in Venezuela, or to destroy some facility. But if that happens, it'll be very limited, very quick in and out. They're not going to send in troops like they did in Iraq, for instance. It's been received in the United States mostly negatively, I would say. The public opinion polling that's been done consistently shows that about 65% of Americans don't want the U.S. to invade Iran. The people who support it are, I think, around maybe 20% or something like that, mostly Republicans. But many Republicans don't want it, and most of the other people don't want it. And he also did something Trump did in this attack that angered a lot of people, which is he launched this attack without congressional approval. And the Constitution says the Congress is the group that declares war and then funds it as well. Trump is ignoring most aspects of the American Constitution and the legal system as it exists and the political system, and this angers a lot of people. So, but he doesn't care. He's able to do this, and he's going to try to, with his bravado style, show that we've defeated this great threat, which hasn't been proved to be a great threat, but he thinks it is. And he says we've shown that we're the most powerful military in the world, which nobody doubted. They have $1 billion a year, $1 trillion a year defense budget now. It's incredible. So this is mostly for show for his benefit. But it's not just purely a show, because there's an attack going on in the region, and the real consequences are, what will the Iranians do in return? What can they do? We don't know their capabilities. They claim to have capabilities that they didn't have last June when they were attacked. They have missiles that can evade the defenses of Israel and the U.S., they claim. So we'll have to see. But it's possible that the return attacks by the responses by Iran could cause huge damages to the energy production systems around the region, transportation networks, flight networks, all kinds of things could be disrupted. And the Iranians will tell you, look, we don't care. We're suffering. We're sanctioned. We can barely feed our people. We can't export our oil legally. So we'll just destroy the whole system. And they've said this clearly before the attack happened. They've said it many times. If they're attacked by Israel or the U.S., they're going to create havoc in the region. We'll have to see if they're able to do that.
Rami Khouri joining us there from New York. Thank you so much for your time and analysis today.
Thanks, Melissa.